Welcome to Both Sides Now, featuring the unconventional duo, Dr. Shirley and medium Kellee White. Two perspectives, one world. This is Both Sides Now.
Woohoo! Hi, everybody. I'm spiritual medium Kellee White, and I'm here today with John Williams. Hi, John.
Hey, Kel. Happy Thursday.
But is it a happy Thursday? This is really the question. Is it a
That's how I
happy
always start
Thursday?
it. That's how we start it. We just put it out there, and it's going to be a happy Thursday, right?
Oh my God. First
It's
of
a
all, I
busy
love
Thursday. It's a busy Thursday. That's for
it's
sure.
a extremely busy Thursday. This
Yes.
is very true. And I love your design there. I
Well,
love it.
thank
It's
you.
so
I love that you've
perfect.
got the orange going on and the orange in the background, and
I was in the mood.
and, and we do not talk about this before she comes on.
No.
The color is picked before she comes on.
Yeah, it's kind of phenomenal. So thank
Yeah,
you for that one. I
yeah.
really love that one. Well, how's
Little
everybody
setting
doing?
thing.
Yeah. Hasn't it been an interesting, deep time? And I hope our friends that are in the South are safe, and I hope
I
they're
do too.
far into land for
Just
now.
be warned about water.
Yeah, those planets went Gadanta.
Yeah,
They really did. And
yeah.
the energy was so fierce. There were two hurricanes that came at the same time. I have actual family that had to move. They're out in Austin right now. They actually got
Wow. Wow.
in a caravan and headed to Austin. And I lost an uncle actually during Katrina. So hurricanes really, resonate here with me. And
Yeah,
what everybody goes through, it's just it's unreal actually.
it
And we're
is.
in a
Or
very unreal time.
and especially Louisiana. I mean,
Oh,
my
Louisiana,
goodness,
parts of Texas. I
yeah.
mean, you kind of have to wonder, does God have a problem with Louisiana
It's just
and
the
Texas?
positioning of it. I mean, I think it's just so, like, wow.
It's just, and then you add, because that's not enough, you add COVID to that. Like,
Oh, yeah,
it's just unbelievable.
it is.
So many odd things are happening now.
Well, that's why we have this show to check
This is
in with
it,
all of you to see
to
how you're
check in.
doing and
Yep.
to help you get through the week.
Yes, to help everybody. And it's so sweet. Oh, hey. Hi, Judy. I was thinking about you today, Judy Friedman. Thank you. She says she only has a few minutes, but it was about what, 2017, I think, Judy, that we were all in Europe together with James. Actually, we were in Italy. Uh, was it 3 years ago today? Yeah, 3 years ago today. We were in Italy. Boy,
Mm,
that was a great trip. Super
yeah,
trip. Such a time. Well, let's just talk about this time, shall we?
reach out. Let's get
I
into the astrology
know.
update.
Hi, Barbara says hi, Kelly and John from I think South Carolina. Hi, Jessica. Hi, Rebecca. Hi, Cece. Hi, Mel. Hi, Lori. Hi, Brandy. Hi, Diana. These are so sweet. Everybody's watching. I so appreciate that. Oh my gosh, so many. Nice, nice, nice. Oh, Alina. Hi from Wisconsin. Go figure. Hi, everybody. So let's talk about this triggering time that we're in. We are in a triggering time. As I mentioned on Monday's show with Both Sides Now, that Mars, the planet of war, the planet of intensity,
Yeah.
renegade, is squaring off with Saturn. Saturn is the old, it's the traditional, it's the government, it's male, the paternal, it's intense,
Mm-hmm.
it's karma, and it's squaring off. And it squared off on Monday directly. And normally this would last for 2 to 3 days, but in actuality, now it's going to square off less 2 or 3 degrees for months. And so, this intense energy that people are feeling is this. And on September 9th, Mars, which is in its own house of Aries, which makes it very powerful, and you've got Saturn in its own house of Capricorn, make it very powerful. This planet Mars is going to go retrograde. So planets, they say going backwards. It doesn't go backwards. It's going to be
Yeah.
like hovering, like intensely, like this, and it's not going to back down. It's just going to be like a slow, steady intensity. And then you add Saturn. That guess what? On September 29th, that who is retrograde now goes direct, and then it's going to be like again because there's another square on September 29th. So September is going to be a very, very intense time as we're headed into this intense time. I mean,
September.
I must sound like such a, I don't even know
Well,
what I sound like, but
we've talked about this before.
yeah.
2020 is the year of intensity, so it's no
Oh,
wonder you say intense, intense with every month. So,
I mean, it's going to feel frustrating. You might reach blocks. It's
Yeah.
going to feel like every time you turn around, there's no roadblock. There's something. If you can kind of just give into the energy and just, if you can, I understand if you can't, start to develop. Now's the time, if you don't have one, a real good sense of humor.
Mhm.
It's going to actually save you and be helpful because a good sense of humor can actually, I don't know, kind of put what's happening perspective behind it. And remember, all of you wanted to be here during this time. And this is a time of what we call of great transition, great transformation, great change. You know that old book, Stephanie says, intense followed by intense. It's so true. Oh, it's so true. I mean, later on, probably closer, maybe Monday or the following Thursday, I'll do the full report because there's just so much to get into with
Yeah.
this. I
So
mean,
many opportunities for growth.
there's so many opportunities for growth. Yes, because really what we come here for is to grow and for our souls to expand. And this is going to, you know, that old book, that's why I started to say, who moved my cheese? Okay, there's
Yes.
no more cheese factory. It's gone. It's like everything is that we know has will have changed in the next yeah, laughing helps, Judy. I mean, thank God, Judy, you have a good sense of humor.
Yeah.
I know because I've been with Judy. Judy's so
Mm,
great. Every time I've traveled with her, it's like, let's say you have a problem. She's got the answer to it, which is, I love this. And I took this class. I was saying this on Monday's show with 11 therapists, all dealing with COVID
mhm.
with their patients. And it was a fascinating experience because nobody's got the answer. And therapists are going through it. We're all going through it. And the only one that what I feel is the strongest position is to take a spiritual position in this. I
Sure.
really feel this is how we're all going to get through. And it's
Mhm.
going inward, it's dealing with yourself. You may be triggered because of past events in your life that this is going to trigger. This is all good for this stuff to come up. If it's
Speaking
coming
of
up,
trigger, Tracy's talking about that right now. She's saying, Sunday I walked into the building where my mother lives and my sister, not together, and just walking into the building, trigger. Overwhelmed immediately, had to ground myself and focus on my breath. And we hope that Bad
wow.
Moms event really helped you, Tracy,
Oh,
with some tools
Tracy.
to
Oh,
process. Yeah.
I feel that, Tracy. Well, well, I'm glad you knew what to do. You had to
Mhm.
ground yourself, you had to focus on your breath. That's
Yeah.
very good insight with that.
Yes.
I mean, there will be times when we get triggered by our loved ones, by people that we thought, were here to help us or take care of us. Um, This is life. This is this
Mm.
life that we have. Yes, the event helped. Oh, good, Tracy. A lot of people have been talking about that Bad Moms event. And I want everybody to know we actually are planning two more events. The first one is, yeah, you've got it, Bad Dads. That's right. And funny thing is, back in the day when my dad was alive, we used to call him Bad Dad.
Oh,
So
wow.
it is kind of funny that
Yeah.
this is called Bad Dads. And that's almost a different type of trauma than the bad mothers.
Yeah.
So we're going to do this on, I think, John, is it
October 3rd. Yes.
October 3rd?
October 3rd from 12 to 2 Pacific time.
Yes.
So that's the tentative date at the moment. It could
Hmm.
change. So we haven't published anything about it yet. You're getting a sneak peek. And
Yes.
then the next one.
Is Bad Siblings. And I can't remember who suggested that one. It was
Yeah.
somebody that was watching the show. It was a brilliant suggestion and one
Yes.
that I've always had trouble with. Always had trouble with that one. I've had trouble with all of them actually.
Yeah.
But bad siblings have caused a lot of issues. So we'll talk about birth order in that. We'll talk about
Mhm.
sibling rivalry. I mean, it's a real thing.
Yeah.
And there are some
Conflict,
siblings.
manipulation,
Oh
all
yeah, I mean, there are some siblings that are just bad seeds.
yeah. And that's gonna be on
So,
November 7th at
yes,
this time. It's currently scheduled for that, again, from
right.
12 to 2 PM, Pacific time.
Oh my God, Debbie just said the funniest thing. She goes, "How about bad husbands?"
Well, remember we were gonna just do bad people and just
Okay.
cover the whole gamut?
Okay, I am so on that one, Debbie. I am so on that one. Oh my God. Oh, Shirley would laugh her ass off. We
Yeah.
have to do that. I think we're gonna do that one. That now I have a great husband. Exclaimer
I
here.
was gonna
I
say,
have a
wait a minute, Don's listening.
Yeah, I have a fabulous husband. I swear to you, I'm not being held hostage. I have a great husband.
Yeah.
I've had a couple of horrific clunkers. So I am happy to do a bad
Yeah.
husband. Oh my God, you made my day. That is going to make me laugh forever. So Ardelia, who is in Australia, what did she say? Oh my God, the other month I had a dream with dates, and one of them was the 7th of November, and this is so me. That needs the bad sibling session. Yes.
There you
Oh,
go.
I
It
think
probably
it
was
was
Ardelia that
you.
made the suggestion, actually. So, folks,
Yes.
we do this group meetup after the show normally, and
Yeah.
that's when a lot of these suggestions come up because, it probably was Ardelia. So, yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Oh, Elizabeth says, thank goodness I found James's old podcast last fall when searching to learn more on spirituality and taking a spiritual path, which led me to both sides now.
Mm,
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, Elizabeth. So sweet.
aw,
I'm glad you all found us here because we're all
mhm.
here for, our mission. John's mission, my mission, Shirley's
Yes,
mission,
yes.
James's mission,
Prajna's,
Prajna's missions, Carrie's mission,
Tammy's,
Tammy's
Gary.
mission
Yeah.
is really to work together to lift humanity during an enormous crisis. The
And
kind
many
of
of you out
crises,
there.
yeah, the
Yes.
kind of crises that you know, uh, nobody really could have come
Hmm.
together with all of this. It does take a whole team of people to help keep people, and that's our role here, right, John? To
Yeah.
help keep people
Hmm.
floating above, if you can, during this very, very, very intense time. And again, how many times have I said, what would my mom say? What would
Oh,
my
yeah.
mom do? Because my
Hmm.
mother was a very well known and respected psychologist.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what she'd be doing. She'd be going, Kelly, what do you think? That's what she'd be doing. And I'd be like, well, mom, it's really going to be bad.
Oh,
So, let's see. Oh, thanks, Stacy. Says you're a blessing to so many of us. Thank you. Yeah, it's all Celeste. It's all of our missions.
mhm.
Absolutely, it's
Yeah.
all of our missions, Celeste. I mean, and the group that we have is really great because everybody can feel like their own self, and they can talk about whatever their issues are that come up for everybody. And it's a spiritual group.
Yes.
And I really wanted to scream to these other therapists, look, you guys are missing the boat here.
Mm.
Really, it's great all the work you're doing, but you have to add the spiritual component to it.
Yeah.
You have to, because
And that's the
this is
thing,
really
James
gonna
always talks about being the teacher-student, student-teacher, and that's an
has to be.
interchangeable role, in
Yes,
life. So we're all learning from one another, and we're all teaching at the
yes,
same time. So, yeah.
absolutely. We
Mhm.
absolutely are. And so we've
Speaking
got some times. Yes.
I was gonna say, speaking of James, we've got the animal communication workshop coming up right after, so I won't be able to spend a
Yeah.
lot of time with the group today, but because I have to prepare for the animal communication workshop, but I know a lot of you will be there and happy to see you for that. So that's coming up.
You're gonna love Samantha. She's fabulous, and you're gonna love it. And unfortunately, I will not be able to attend because I'm doing another show today.
Yeah, yeah. You are.
So
And then we have Tammy that's going to be on next month.
yes,
So this coming
Monday.
Monday. Yeah.
Mhm.
So just to let you know, she's also featured in the animal communication series, and she's going to be talking about mediumship with your pets. And specifically on Monday, we're discussing um, transition. So when your pets
Yeah.
transition, and
And there's a lot of that going on
yeah,
right now.
yeah.
A lot of transition going on. It's they signed up to get us so far,
Hmm.
and then it's their time to advance their souls too,
Yeah.
for them to go. And another one will come in to take that other one, not to take their place, but to add another dimension that you need. I'm sure Tammy will be talking about that. It's going to be a great show, and that'll
Yeah.
be Monday night. Yeah, Tammy's terrific,
She is.
and she's going to be with James too on the third
She
part
is.
of that.
Hmm. Discussing mediumship.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
So that's going to be great.
yeah.
So, should we take some questions?
Yeah, so
And
let's get to your questions. So folks, go ahead and type them in. You can also call in. We'll open the phone lines immediately, and you can go ahead and call in. I'll get that number up for you, and let's get to it.
And I wanted to see Debbie asked a question. She says, out of nowhere, my 16-year-old starseed daughter. So starseeds, for the people that weren't aware of this, they literally come from another galaxy, basically, to be here on Earth to have this experience. So she says that your daughter, whoops, where'd it go, John? Okay, here it is,
Oh, I have it right here.
has been experiencing narcoleptic-like episodes daily since Tuesday. Is the planet Mars responsible for this? Well, let's see. First of all, if she's experiencing narcoleptic episodes, I would immediately call an MD
Yeah.
immediately because you want to check that out. Could it be caused by energy from the planets? Yeah, it absolutely could be. But to be on the safe side, you always want to check that one out. Narcolepsy is all of a sudden where you just pass out, so it could be some type of mini seizure going on in her brain.
Mm,
So you really want to check that out. I had a
lack of blood
unbelievable
or oxygen, right?
it could be. I mean, I had an unbelievable experience once driving with somebody who was driving, and I was in the back seat. It was an older man, and he had narcolepsy, and we didn't know it. And I'm in the
Wow.
back seat, and this guy's going. All of a sudden, he starts going really, really fast, and I'm like, "We're on the freeway, and he's going that fast, and what's going on?" And he had just blanked out. He literally, and when somebody in the front seat had to grab the wheel and move it over, it was pretty what I would call traumatic. So when I see the word narcolepsy, I go, "Whoop! Please have that
For
checked out."
sure.
Because I mean, it could play out this way, but so Wendy Ann says, Kelly, I was on with you last night and asked about my boys being 11 months apart in age to the day. My daughter wanted me to ask you if there was any significance to her being 11 months older than my son. So she's my oldest, 11 months older than my son, and then my sons are 11 years apart. Lots of 11s. So
Mhm.
11s are the teachers. I would say that anytime you see an 11, if you were born at 1111, if you are an 11 in numerology, if you start seeing 1111, that's a sign to wake up. It's
Mhm.
actually an activation number to wake your up into spirituality. People will
Yeah.
say, "Well, why are you waking up?" It's into spirituality. That it's an opening, energetic opening. But yes, I would say that all of your kids, Wendy Ann, are teachers to each other.
Mhm.
Teachers to each other, and that's extremely important. That's good. It's a good group. Good. Thanks for asking that question. It's a good
Yeah.
one.
All right. So let's see here. We have several
And
coming in.
another Wendy says our children are our best teachers. That's
Mhm.
the truth. That is the truth. Yeah. Wow.
All right, here we go. Priscilla says, "Are there any particular issues that will arise in September that we should pay more attention to?"
Yes, 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 yes. I'm going to tell you some of the things. Yeah. So, yeah, September's going to be a big one, busy, big one. Um, so Jupiter's going to go direct. Jupiter's been retrograde, I think since April. I can't remember the exact date. I don't have it in front of me, but it's going to go direct. So Jupiter is going to go direct on September 13th. Jupiter's is expansive. It's big, and it's in Capricorn, and it's going to go direct. That should actually expand some of our work that we're doing. Everybody should be able to breathe a little better, a little better. We're going to have other planets that are going to square it. So, really, I think what I'm saying is that there'll be moments of a good clarity and actually some good feelings along the way here. Jupiter tends to bring that in. So the issues to pay attention to in September are your tempers. Having said that, I want everybody to watch their tempers. That's the big issue, Priscilla, is the big issue, tempers. Because unconscious people that are unconscious or unaware, may blow up um, constantly. They may not know why they're agitated all the time, or they're triggered all the time, or somebody's doing something to somebody and everybody's going to have an opinion and this is going to go for months. So I think the issue is to watch your temper
Mhm.
and really try to do anything. As I said the other day on Monday's show, I watched Sex in the City. It was very calming. I watched it over and over and over. I'm still thinking about it. It was just great. It's
Oh,
very
good.
calming. You need to
Yeah.
calm down. Sometimes I wake up, I'm not kidding you. Don will tell this. He'll share this with you. He's always trying to get me to videotape this, but sometimes I wake up and I just have a song in my head and I just start singing away.
Great.
I do not know how to sing. In fact, I hope he doesn't videotape me. It would be very embarrassing. But I just do it because it entertains me. Just do
Yeah.
anything you can during this time to entertain yourself, to not take everything so deeply
Yeah.
seriously. Your soul is here to have some experiences. Try not to get too caught up in everything. So those are the kind of things to watch. Um, when Pluto goes direct on October 4th, Pluto goes direct. Pluto's retrograde. That's the planet of, the hidden element. It brings a lot of intensity. And when that goes direct, and it's been retrograde since October, I'm sorry, since April 25th. It goes
Mhm.
direct on October 4th. That's going to mean a test of faith. So I know that we're going to have tests constantly. It's like, oh, you didn't pass the first test, you'll get the second test. It's going to be about how we respond to some things that we've never had before here on earth that we've been here.
And
It's
speaking of that, let's get
okay.
into Ardelia's question, which is a soul enters a contract, and part of the contract they may agree to displaying bad behaviors on Earth.
Mhm.
When they have finished on Earth and do a life review, they need to go through what they did and didn't do well. And apparently, they experience the pain that they've caused others through their bad behaviors. Why would a soul sign up for that? I also wonder about that too, because if they agreed to doing certain behaviors prior to coming in,
Well, I think the soul that comes in with a contract that's going to be an asshole, we'll just say it like that.
yeah.
They also are here to learn. So it may be like, listen, I'll take this role, but that person taking that role, I believe, is also here to raise their vibration and learn.
Hmm.
And whatever caused that person to be so difficult, the other person may just be more advanced soul, and the younger soul may have taken on that role because that's where they were in their development, if that
Hmm.
makes sense. I mean, everybody's at a different place of development. You may have a sibling, so we'll do bad siblings, where one development is like over here, and the mother decided, "Oh, I'll bring in you. I'll take you, you, and you. Oh, it's a mixed bag. How great is that?" Where
Yeah.
it's really hell on earth, probably. But on there,
Right.
it's like, "Oh, I'll take you, you, and you."
Yeah.
And so then there's free will here, and then the soul has an opportunity. The negative soul or the more difficult soul has an opportunity to raise their vibration and come out of it at any time. They have that opportunity. So the contract may have been entered as, well, I'm a younger soul, so I'm going to take this role. And then they can always grow. So you're never just stuck there. These people can grow and learn. This is why we come here to this
Yeah.
school, you know? Well,
So Kim
apparently
says,
what Kim says, my brother is working on his soulful PhD because he is the asshole in the fam for sure.
you gotta love that. Yeah.
Oh, I like that. The Soulful PhD. You know
Yeah,
what? Kim, you should write a book called The Soulful PhD. That's really funny.
that is good.
That's a good one. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's always one or two assholes in a family. I'm sorry. It just is.
We
There's
brought that
always
up in the
difficult
group
ones.
before. I said, I'm going for my PhD in the School of Hard Knocks.
Uh, I know, right? It's so true.
Yeah.
This school here is rough.
Yeah.
Why would I mean, when we do bad siblings, and I'm looking forward to it, it'll be like, why did I choose this one? Was I supposed to learn from this one? And vice versa. What are they supposed to learn from me? Like I have a brother, and I said to my brother, I have two brothers, and I said to my one brother, look, don't go to the Dominican Republic. Don't go there. He was a director. I said, don't go. Okay, I won't go. I said, I'm telling you, don't go. Anyway, he went. He doesn't listen to me. I said, it's not going to be good. He goes. He has to come down because the movie was shut down. There was a big problem, as I predicted.
Hmm.
And then I said, whatever you do, don't go again. Anyway, he went a second time. So he's stuck right there. It doesn't matter that he's got a sister that's a psychic. It doesn't matter. He doesn't listen. And that's my point. So my husband always says, "Oh, don't waste your breath. Stop already." And I'm like, "Well, I can't help it.
Yeah. So
I
Steven says,
try."
this is a great question. It sounds like it speaks to the difference between knowing how something works and actually doing it. The lesson can come from actually doing it. Yeah.
Yes. Hi, Stephen, good friend of ours.
Yeah.
Yes, the lesson, that's how we all have to learn. Everything here is through doing it. And
That's
this
what I,
is why it's true. This is why we come into this dimension because it's physical. It's
yeah.
physical. It's density. And for some reason, we don't learn when we're as well. We don't get the lesson. Here's the thing. I know on the other side, I probably teach Earth 101.
Right.
It's like, well, here's what's going to happen. And you're like,
Yeah.
ooh, yeah, really? Ooh. And then you get here and you're like, what?
Yeah.
This hurts. Yeah, this
Yeah.
hurts. Density hurts. Density is intense. And this is, some people just have a slow way of learning. And then you have the ones that didn't they get the lesson? Like, I know literally as a guide, if I'm somebody's guide, my head's gonna explode. I'm gonna be like, didn't you get it?
Yeah.
What's the matter with you?
Right. I always say that one of the gifts
God.
of wisdom
Yeah.
Especially when we're going through all of it. I mean, I think in many ways I've said like knowledge, right, is the having an experience, but wisdom is actually going through that experience. And
Yeah.
one of the gifts of pain is wisdom.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
we come here each time over and over. So we will have wisdom. This
Yeah.
is how we honestly advance our soul here, coming here. And in this dimension, during this crazy time, this shit show that's about to begin, it will grow our soul 7 times faster. So we did want to be here. So always watch what you're doing, what you're thinking, what you're saying. Pay attention to it. This is how we learn and think, "Oh, is this how I really feel, or is this am I being triggered? Is this have I learned anything? Have I grown anywhere?"
Yeah.
Remember, every moment is almost a pitfall of something here, and so you really want to take a moment to ask yourself how you're feeling in this moment. It's going to
Mhm.
be really important, and if you have to get grounded, take your shoes off. It's still a nice days out. We still are in the summer period. Take your shoes off, get grounded, walk outside, talk to the trees, talk to the birds, sing, do anything you can to get you back into a state of calmness if you can, because there will
Yeah.
be times we will be triggered. Do I have any book recommendations for kids? An 8-year-old girl. My daughter did EMDR and now talks to spirits, but would love to expand that knowledge for her. You know what, Jessica? There are some books, and I don't have the names of them right now because I sent my daughter some of these books. Um, so you're talking about, I think you mean um, a, a book on spirituality for young kids. I think that's. I'll make a note, Jessica. John, let's make a note of that, and
Sure.
I'll try to find some because I did send my daughter a couple of books. Her children are younger than that, but there are some. I can't remember, but I need to keep that a list of that one. Thanks for that reminder. There
Yeah. I
definitely
think
are books.
James has a few books too about that
Does
as
he
well.
about for
Yeah.
children?
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, one of them's called Looking Beyond, but it just depends on the age of, I think because I think that's more for teens, but for
Yeah.
kids, it's a really good one. I'm wondering. Hmm. Yeah, we'll post that. We'll post that for you, Jessica. Thanks for that
And
question.
one thing, Jessica, you might want to look up are crystal children.
Yeah, we've done a few
Hmm.
YouTube videos on that one, so if
We
you go to our
have
YouTube
crystal
channel.
children, rainbow children, and I
Hmm.
bet you there are some books about them. You know who had a book on them? I don't know if she's in very good standing now. Was Doreen Virtue. I could swear she had a book too for children back
Yeah.
in the day. She's made a different path now, but
Well, shall we get to some calls? Because
yes, we
we are
should.
in 30 minutes into the show. All right,
You
here we
betcha.
go. So let's see who we're going to take first. We've got area code 314 on the line with us. Thank you for your patience and holding. Are you there with us?
Yes.
Okay, can you get a little
Hello?
closer to the phone so we can hear you a little better?
Yeah, hi. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, where are you calling from?
St. Louis, Missouri.
All right.
St. Louis. I lived in St. Louis for a small amount of time, but I did live there. There you go.
Oh, yeah.
I
My
know.
whole life. My whole
Back in the day. Well, what is your name and how can I help you?
My name is Mary Edwards. First of all, hello. It's good to hear your voice personally. Both of
Hi
you.
there. Nice to hear your voice.
Thank you. I guess I'm calling I guess recently I really figured out how much of a narcissist my husband or how he is one. I've been married to him for um 20 going on 25 years.
Whoa, really?
Um
That's
yeah.
some battle fatigue.
I'm tired. I'm a tired
Uh,
girl, but I've had to it was 8 years ago he's in a bad accident and we were
mm,
getting ready to split then. He was having an affair, to be blunt. And he got hurt on the job and I had to take care of him after that because he had, he's my kid's father, and I just felt like it would be over with in a couple months, and he could go about his way, and we would split. Well, it was a work comp battle, so it was 8 years later we finally settled, and he has seemed to forget that that was the deal, that we were going to split after he got better.
Oh boy.
And now we're like financially destitute, from that, and he's kind of in control of that money. And anytime I try to go to school, it sounds like
Mary, what is your birth date?
But
What's your birth date, Mary?
2674, July 26, 1974.
Okay. And 26. Okay. So, here's the situation with that one. That birth placement, your birth placement, always comes in to have one very, very trying relationship, one very difficult one. I think you stayed a long time at that party.
Yeah.
And it's because, excuse me, it's because surrounding that birth placement, one of the things that you came in to deal with was fear itself. And so there would have been probably great fear to leave him. And I can imagine that you would have had fear over pretty much everything. Fear rules that placement for some reason until you break out of that fear cycle. I would say it's not too late to break out of it. What year were you born in? How old are you?
1974. I just turned 46.
Oh, okay. So you're just out of a cycle. 44, 45, 43, 44, 45 is where change, when you get to 45, change begins, and 46 is right when, so you just turned 46 just now, recently.
Yes.
Yeah, this would probably be what I'm saying about couples is this. If you are in a difficult marriage now, okay, if you're currently in, this applies to everybody. This is going to be a very difficult, challenging time to stay with somebody if you are already in a difficult marriage. I don't know. A lot of marriages are not going to make it through this period. If you're in a strong marriage, this period of time will strengthen the marriage. So during this period, what is his birth date? And dealing with a narcissist is, life sucking. It sucks the life out of you. What is his birth date?
July 12th, 1974. Exactly 2 weeks older.
Yeah, and that one is about power and abuse of power. And so,
Yeah, I'll say.
pardon me?
Not funny, but I'll say. I laughed. I said, I'll say.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say is right. I mean, it's funny. Remember, every birth date has a positive and a negative, and some souls don't rise to the above because that placement could be have a completely different energetic feel if they would take responsibility. And that's really what this one is about. In a narcissist, they don't have empathy. So they don't attain that. It takes some massive loss for them. And maybe sometimes on their deathbed, they go, "Oh, you left me because," I mean, it's a weird way to learn. So, and I'm sorry you're in that situation. Do you have a question about it other than everything I've just said?
Yeah, I really want out, and I'm actually scared for my life. I've from what I've heard, like, they're okay until you actually leave them, because he's so like.
Yeah, abandonment's a big one on that one. Abandonment is huge on that. This is what I would do. I would read everything you can about, does he rage before I even jump to narcissist? Does he rage?
Oh God, it's yes. It's since
Okay.
its accident, it's gotten. Yeah, I could go back. I've been really educating myself. When I first met him, there was no such thing as that. I never heard that word in my life. I've just recently, these past few months, been trying to figure out how to do this, and how to get away from him. And when he refused to let me divorce, to refuse the divorce, I was like, what? And it just makes sense all the way back. Like I'm reading all this stuff. It was there in the beginning. So he's claiming now he's so sick. He's got a brain injury. But that's part of the narcissist.
Well,
They
if he really did have a brain injury, you can still be a narcissist or a borderline, which he may be, and still,
he probably does.
yeah. So has he been? Is he on medication?
Yeah, he was on a lot, but he's on duloxetine and
that's to calm the brain. And what else?
Gabapentin he's in a lot of nerve
pain. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That came later. And Adderall.
So the Adderall might be jacking him up. Something might be jacking him up.
I noticed a significant difference with that. I didn't like at all. And
it makes some people really focus, and it makes some people really mean and agitated. So he would really need a good neuropsychiatrist that could do an EEG on his brain to determine what is going on there. I mean, a good one. You need to find a good neuropsychiatrist, a good neurologist to figure this out from the brain, because sometimes in a head injury, the anger starts to explode because they cannot control it. So that is something to consider. On the other hand, having lived with a personality disorder, it's often impossible. So learn everything you can before, just learn everything you can and keep yourself safe. If that helps.
Yeah.
Because
it was there before, but
okay.
it's worse now because he can't leave. Like he used to be able to drive and like get in the car and like do so long.
Yeah, all of us are saying we've been there. I'm reading all the comments from so many people. We've all been there. It's so true. Yeah. It's a tough one. I have to do that one on bad husbands.
Scary, because when you can't answer the question, do you think he would hurt you, and you can't answer no?
I can't say no on that.
I have 2 children with him too.
How old are the children?
For 8 years with this.
Oh boy, are the children young?
Well, they were young when it happened, but now my daughter is 19, or she's getting ready to be 20 in a few days, in a couple days. August 29th is her birthday.
Well, here's my thought for you. This is what I really think. John, would you put I think you might want to work with a somatic experience therapist, because this is something that I think would actually help to give you some guidance, to give you some therapy, to help you kind of get clear with all of this, because the trauma that's involved when you're living with a narcissist or a borderline or a sociopath or a psychopath is really rough on your system. John, what is the name of our the somatic experience?
Yeah, I'm putting that up on the screen right now for everybody.
Okay, I want you to check that out, Mary, because I think that this might help you a lot. And what you do is you just go to this site, you put your zip code in, and it will come up with different therapists, and choose one that resonates with you. Some work on a sliding scale, so find out if the term is sliding scale, if somebody will see you for less money. Some will do that. And these people are very well trained in trauma, and that is exactly where you are right now. And I'm sure they're doing Zoom and everything now to keep people safe, but please do that and keep us posted. Many of us have been there. You can get through it. You can get through it. Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks for calling, honey. Yeah, here it is.
Like an exit plan.
That's what you need. That's why if you work with a therapist to help you get an exit plan, I think that's the best way to go with that. You do, because you need an exit plan. When you're dealing with this kind of personality in this kind of time period in that world that we're in, of this fierce battle, you need an exit plan. You got to get real clear. So helping with the trauma of it is going to help everybody. With this, Lorena says, I can help her. I don't charge. It's all based on donations. Oh, that's sweet, Lorena. Are you a therapist? Let us know if you're a therapist.
All right. Well, thank you so much for calling in, and we hope that helped you.
Thank you.
And you can always get a session with Kellee as well at kelleewhite.com. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
I thought about
All right. So we got to move on. We've got so many callers holding. So let's do our next caller. We have, looks like area code 623 from Arizona. Okay, so I'm just going to ask folks when you do call in that you listen through the phone and you mute the computer in the background so that we don't have the echo, because otherwise we have an echo. And what's happening is that there's a delay for you. You'll be connected directly to the studio when you call in. All listeners, though, there's a delay. The callers that are calling in will hear us directly. All right,
Yes.
so let me get to the next one and see
Okay.
what we can do about the folks here. Okay, we're going to area code 317. Area code 317, can we have your name, please, and where you're calling from?
Hi, this is Danica, and I spoke to you guys a couple weeks ago calling from Greenwood, Indiana.
Oh, hi, Danica. How are you?
I'm okay. I'm hoping you guys are okay.
We are. You have a lot of kids, right?
Yes.
See, that's what I remembered. How can we help you today?
So, well, the reason why I was calling, I mean, you know that I have been going to school, but professional-wise, I'm kind of lost and stuck between the wanting to do something, metaphysics, but helping people. And I'm kind of all over the place and I don't know what the right choice is. And I'm scatterbrained and I can't think clearly of where I'm supposed to go.
Remind me of your birth date again.
4/28/85.
Okay, 428. Okay, well, because I know you need balance here. Well, maybe you're scattered because you've got a lot of kids, and that would be, you know, it would be hard to focus on you at this time. And you're young too. What are you, 35, 36?
I'm 35. I think it's just the normal things that people go through in life, getting stuck with what should I do to financially provide, but then I also want to, fulfill a purpose and help people. And
Well, let's take the burden off you right now, okay? Because we're in a crisis time, and this is a difficult time, and you've got young children. I mean, why don't you give yourself a break? Why don't you take some classes maybe with James Van Praagh on his school? Why don't you look into some different grad schools? I think we had talked about that at some point. You're not quite there yet. It's a road. You're on a road. And when I was your age, I probably wanted to do the same thing. I probably wanted to hurry and go and go. But, I think that this is a time in our lives where it's time to kind of, if you can, kind of check down and just let it kind of, you don't have to make any big decisions at this moment. I don't know if it's a time for that anyway. But why don't you give yourself a few months, and by the time we get to the new year, because this is going to be a very intense time, why don't you, right, for this period of time, work on spirituality? But I still would look at grad schools for you because you'd be a great therapist.
yeah.
I really mean that. And it doesn't mean you have to achieve that today or tomorrow. Everything takes time. Life experiences take time. Okay?
Thank
All
you
right.
so
Thank
much.
you. Thanks, Danica, for calling. Yeah, the JVP School of Mystical Arts. He's got some great classes on there.
Sure does. Yeah.
I mean, fabulous, especially for this period of time. This is a great period of time to be taking classes. Hi, Shanley. Oh, thank you, Shanley. Shanley's a really good friend of mine. Very good friend of mine. I love her so much. Hi, Shanley. Got a great family. Great love of her life. Our friend Bill, who's been on our show, John, from a long time ago.
Oh,
Bill
yeah.
Cinquet, been on our show. And
Right.
he and Don were both in Neil Diamond's band together. So we go way back.
Oh, great.
Yay, Shanley. Love
All
her.
right. So
Talk about a great soul. She's a great soul. Okay.
I'm gonna go back to that other caller that we had and see if they've been able to
Okay.
mute in the background. Let's see if it's any better. Hello, caller. Are you
Hello.
there?
Are you there?
Yes. Can you just mute your background, please, so that we can hear you directly through the phone?
Yes, I went to a different room.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Can we have your name, please, and where you're calling from?
My name is Howard from Phoenix, and I'm calling for my wife, Pam.
Hi there.
Hi there.
Question for you, Kellee.
Okay.
Thank you for all you do.
Oh, thank you. You're so welcome.
I became an insulin dependent diabetic at the age of 38.
Ooh.
And it happened a few years after the end of a tough marriage for me emotionally. And I've always kind of wondered, since I discovered that we kind of plan our lives and have a contract, whether or not I planned to become a type 1 diabetic at the age of 38 instead of as a kid or a teenager, or whether, I hate to use the word trauma, but it was very traumatic. Whether or not that first marriage kind of did a number enough on my body, my psyche, that I became one.
That's
That
such
makes
a great question, Pam. I got chills as you were telling me the story. 38 is an 11. An 11 is something that we learn here. Could this have happened through trauma? For type 1 at 38, which is unusual, as we know, could this be from trauma? You bet you, because you sound like an empath, like an empath's empath, as I say, and somebody that has had that kind of abuse or trauma in a bad situation. Absolutely, it could transform the body. It can actually take things in. I would highly, highly suggest for you a session or 5 or 10 with Prajna Avalon. Prajna is our resident healer who's extraordinary. She's uh, the best healer I've ever known. I gifted a session with Prajna to James Van Prague, and James said to me, she's the best healer I've ever known. She's been on our show 3 times and she talks about healing, but I think energetically, Pam, she would be the one to help you through this trauma. She works with trauma. Another suggestion is just like with we were just referring to a somatic experience therapist, because um, I believe, and I think that Praj and I have had this conversation about diabetes as trauma. I think it would be just an extraordinary experience for you to begin the process of letting go of that energy. And I think that she could help you wildly with this. I think I'm so grateful you called, and look her up. John, well, we've got a, if you go to our site on YouTube, you can find, she was on the show 3 times, Prajna Avalon. Just YouTube, both sides now TV with Prajna Avalon, and they'll come up. But I would definitely recommend, I know she's booked for quite some time, but I would get in as soon as possible, which would probably be, early October. I'm thinking she's booked now until October, but I would certainly do it. It's definitely, that's what, really, honestly, that's what I think. Because I think, what's your birth date? I should have asked that. What's your birth date?
It's 3/5/52.
Yeah, 3/5. Okay, so 3/5 is a healer. She's interesting enough. You're a 5 of spades. She's a 5 of spades. You have got to have a session with Prajna. You come in to heal a wound. That placement alone, 3/5, is about healing a wound. I don't think that you consciously chose diabetes 1. I don't think so. I think the trauma went and somehow went into that system. She can help you. Oh, she will definitely be able to help you. I would definitely highly, highly recommend her. Okay, thanks.
Kellee, I appreciate that. I used to make a joke that God, I was such a control freak. Whoops, I've lost you.
No, you didn't.
No, we're
No,
still
I'm
here.
listening. We're listening to every word.
Okay, I used to make a joke that I was such a control freak that God said, okay, you want to be in control of things? Here, let's see you control this.
That's a possibility. That's absolutely a possibility. And now I would give her a call, set up a session with her, and watch some wonderful things happen here.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for your call. What a great, great insight there. Thank you for that. Thanks, Howard. I appreciate that, getting her on the phone.
You're welcome. Thank you, guys.
Thank
Yes,
you.
thank you. Wow.
Yeah, great
Be-
mindset with that.
Great mindset
And
with
sense
that.
of humor.
Oh, I tell you, and I'll tell you, that is a Prajna, like,
Yeah.
really, that's a big Prajna one right there.
The process information is up on the screen for everyone. It's Prajna Avalon. That's PRAJNAAVALON. A lot of A's going on there. So check her out. But she is booked up. But see what happens.
Still get in. You'll get in. You'll get in. You know, she's great.
All
Oh,
righty. Well, we are at 49 minutes and watching it closely because I do have to keep on schedule with this one today. So
I know. Me too. I have to do another show.
I
Yeah.
know you do.
Like,
All right. So let's see here. We'll take some comments and see what they have to say. All right. So Celeste, I know that you had called in before, but I don't see you in the call system now for whatever reason. But you did type in a comment saying, "My son is going to the Dominican Republic in September. Is this not wise for him either? You mentioned your brother. Now I'm concerned."
well, assuming your son is going for a movie, Celeste, I'm taking a guess on that. If the movie, a lot of people are going to film movies there, and what they're doing is they're doing these bubbles. And what I said to my brother was during this period of time, because I saw these hurricanes coming. So, down the line in September, I'm sure he'll be fine. I just felt for my own brother at this time was not a good time for him to go. And I was right.
Hmm.
But he doesn't listen to me. So, but your son will be fine, Celeste, because I really feel that things are going to change in that area anyway.
Yeah.
Um, okay, so wait, Lana Silva says, can you tell if on the right purpose by my birth date? Yeah, Prajna is amazing, and you are 5'5". So 5'5". Well, I'm not sure. I can tell you what your life purpose is actually. Your life purpose is a great one. It's about bridging up, making a bridge between the mundane in life, which is the work ethics, the work, the material part of life, versus the spiritual part of life. It's making a complete balance. You come in for the secrets of the universe. You really come in to do deep spiritual work, but it's balancing that other component, which is the material part. So you might be like, "Oh, I really want to do this," and then think, "Oh, I have to do this." I mean, it's interesting. So make a bridge there. That's what you came in to do.
Oh,
Okay. Yeah, don't worry, Celeste. Don't worry. So,
okay.
what do I think? Oh, great question. What do I think about people with dementia? I think they've had enough. I think they don't want to hear anymore. I think that also, no, I don't mean to make a joke of it. I think that it could be I mean, I feel it's an internal situation that's going on that has to do a lot with diet, exercise, the physical body, everything, and
Mm,
trauma, and trauma. And I think and alcohol and drugs. I mean, it's what we have done to our bodies. And I think it's a way that sometimes it's to help another person learn patience, because the person who doesn't have dementia, the other person has a lot of patience. They have to learn patience. So it's often a give and take thing when somebody chooses that one, or Alzheimer's. Kim says diabetes is the result of the loss of sweetness in life. Definitely relates to her past marriage. Louise, hey, heal your life. Oh my God, Kim. So true. So true. Wow. And Louise Hay, boy, she went through a lot. So
yeah.
true. Tam says, feeling the storms. My question is during this time, my cousin was in a serious motorcycle accident and is hanging on by a thread. Oh, honey, I'm so sorry. Her husband didn't survive. Oh, for her family, will there be any peace for them? Oh, I'm so sorry. Probably not for a period of time. I don't know how anybody could have any peace with that. This is a time where everybody really, I'm assuming this was pretty recently that they were in an accident. We had a family member here that was in an accident and literally walked away, and we don't know how, but we couldn't be more grateful. And I think that this energy now is fierce. It's nothing to fool around with. And my heart goes out to your family,
Mm,
really. Will there be peace for them? Not for some time, honey.
mm.
I'm so sorry. Isn't it? It's
Yeah,
unbelievable what people are going to be going through
it
and what they're
is.
going through right now.
And that's the interesting about this show is that you get to see real life accounts of what's going on when people
Yeah.
are writing
Well,
in.
it's so funny that you said that, John,
Yeah.
because now I'm really working with the public a lot, not just
Mhm.
doing this show, but in my
Right.
practice.
Right.
It used to be I was by what is it? I didn't have, I didn't use a website to get my practice. I would just by word of mouth. And
Mhm.
so I just, saw who I saw and, had a fairly content, nice life. And now I'm working with the public, and
Yeah.
each story that I'm hearing
Yeah.
is mind blowing. Each
Mm,
one is almost worse than the next one, and
mm,
it's intense. And each one, everybody needs some deep, deep help. And I appreciate
yeah,
every reading that I get to do because I feel like I get to go into their soul. I get to really see what's under the hood and see what's happening and how do people survive. I should
yeah.
write a book on that. How do people survive? Because
Mm.
it's a tough one. This dimension is tough. The only way that I think people survive is taking that spiritual place. That's it.
Surviving in These Intense Times by Kelly
Yeah.
White.
Yeah, it's true. It's
Yeah,
true. Oh, thank you,
I love it.
Lana.
Yeah, keep going.
Oh,
So,
thanks.
Connie is bringing up a question. Life purpose. How do you calculate my birthday? Where can I look that up? I am 7/25/1956. And you know what I always tell them?
Hmm.
Connie, in the group, what I always bring up, and you got to get that book, The Life You Were Born to Live by Dan Millman. And we're going to do some study from that book. So get that book.
And in the meantime, 14, 5. You're an 8. You're an 8, Connie. So I just added up all the numbers. That's all. And I am not a mathematician. I hate math actually,
Yeah.
but I like to crack codes. So that's how I kind of put it in my head. I like to crack a code. You're an 8. An 8 is somebody that is powerful. So when
Hmm.
I do a reading for somebody, and first thing I do is I look at everything because I like to crack everybody's code to see why they incarnated and to see what was up, what and what's going on now. An 8 is somebody with power. An 8 sometimes is fixed. An 8 has to be able to relax because an 8 is intense.
Yeah.
Um, and Ardelia is so sweet. Being on this show, we get to be with like-minded people that are going through shit. That's true.
Right.
But our group is a big support.
Yeah.
Oh, and we're grateful that you were on. And bless her heart, we did Bad Moms the other day. Shirley and John and I.
Yeah.
It was really intense. And Ardelia spoke, and she was in Australia, and it was 4 in the morning her time.
I
Can you
know.
imagine that? 4 in the morning her time.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Such a
So,
trooper. Such a
trooper.
trooper. And speaking
Yeah.
of Bad Moms, we do have that available for purchase now. It's at half off.
Hmm.
For It sounds totally like an infomercial, but it's half off because if you weren't there to actually
Yeah.
participate, you at least have the recording and can get the information and
Yeah.
empower your life that way. So
Yeah.
yeah,
It was really very powerful, and I appreciate everybody. Renee, who told her story, and Lizette,
yeah.
who told her story, and I really
Oh, I
appreciated
know. Yeah.
everybody that Lisa Block, she participated, and I so
Mhm.
appreciated it.
So many here have, and
So many here have.
Elizabeth, and
Mhm.
just
Oh,
yeah.
Elizabeth, yeah. I mean,
Mhm.
that was, when you were
Tracy.
born, when you have a not good mother, it's awful actually
Yeah.
because it's just awful. And the same thing with a dad, a dad situation. They
Yeah.
say, I read this, no, in my class that I took this week, they talked about a bad father is actually more traumatic in utero than a bad mother.
Wow.
And I said, how is that possible? And it was because the mother is either in some sort of fight or flight because of the bad influence of the father. It's
Wow.
interesting to the new baby, the new fetus that's coming in, which
Mm.
is really some old soul that said, "All right, I'll go in that one. All right, I'll take that one. Oh,
Yeah.
great." That's what they're thinking.
And much of my
Yeah.
trauma in life was caused by my stepfather when my real father left the picture. So
Oh,
that for me was, you
oh,
keep
how
that session
awful.
with me on that one. He came
I
knocking
did.
on the door to apologize. So
I was shocked. I was
yeah,
shocked. I mean, people
yeah,
and
I
their
was too.
traumas.
Oh, I
Yeah, that
know.
was a shocking reading. That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah, sure was.
Mm.
Oh, wow.
Well,
But that also brings us to the point of the fact that when they get on the other side, they do see what they've caused,
yeah.
from your perspective,
Yes, they do.
and they do come back, some anyway, come
Hmm.
back to apologize, and we need to
Hmm.
be open-minded to that because
Yeah.
they are our teachers.
Hmm.
It's very challenging, but that's one way we can view forgiveness is when we look at it from that spiritual perspective. Otherwise, it's
Yeah.
really hard in the 3D life that we live in to forgive, I think. I mean, that's
It's nearly impossible.
yeah.
But if you take a faith-based position, and a faith-based is,
Mhm.
he was my teacher, she was my teacher, I was the teacher, whatever.
Right.
And you have to remember too, on the other side, they will do a life review, and they will feel every single thing that they put you through.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
so that I know. And
Yeah.
You know, we do the best that we can. Well, some of us do the best that we can while we're here. Not everybody.
Right.
Some people are just born terrorists. I don't know. Like certain family members that I have, I just don't get it.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, everybody, we've come to an end. I'm going to be doing, what am I doing today, John? It's,
So you're working with Sharon Lynn Wyeth,
no,
who was
no, Sharon.
Sharon, yeah, Sharon Lynn Wyeth, yes, who has been on our show in the past talking about names, and so there's a YouTube archive of that on our YouTube channel with Sharon. Discussing the power of your name from the bedroom to the boardroom, if I recall correctly. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And I'm doing a show with her in an hour, I think.
Yeah. And then yesterday you did show with Jen Weigel, right?
I did. And I think it was great. It was a lot of information that came out. It was
Yeah.
good. It was really good. Yeah.
Right.
Been busy.
Yes, you have. Haven't we all this
You've
pandemic?
been very busy.
Oh my
You're
Lord.
swamped.
I do. I know. It's but it's a life of service, as I say, serving spirit, and
It's
yeah.
true, John.
No.
It's very true.
Yeah,
There's a
and I
big
can't think
reward
of
in
it.
heaven.
Right. Well, I can thank all the ones who helped fill my tank along the way, with
Yeah.
all the support that I'm getting. So it's like, teacher, student, teacher. We're all
Yeah.
helping one another through this, and it's yeah.
And we do get through this, everybody.
We do.
It's going to look a little different, might be a little choppy, but we're going to get through these waters.
Yeah.
We'll
It's like
get through these waters together.
you get more of Kellee on the YouTube channel. I'm telling you,
Yay!
all
Hi,
the way
Gina.
back.
So
How many years have we
sweet.
been doing the show? 5 years.
5 years. And John's the one that got me on.
Yeah.
John was, well, Shirley said, look, you want to be my partner in this? And I'm like,
Yeah.
no. And John
I've
said,
been
no,
Kellee all along
it's,
the way.
yeah. John was like, oh, no, you could do it. You could do it. I go, oh, no.
And
Yes,
look
you
at her
can.
now.
Now you can't get me off.
I love it, though. It's just
Oh,
so
my God. I like Thursdays because it's a little more relaxed,
yes.
even though I get serious stuff.
Yes,
know.
so true. Yes.
Anyway,
Thanks,
all right.
everybody.
Thanks,
love
everybody.
Take
Love
care of
you. Thanks,
yourselves.
John.
Thank you, honey.
Bye.
You've been listening to Both Sides Now, featuring the unconventional duo Dr. Shirley and Kellee White. Two perspectives, one world.